started in Östersund, 2 weeks of racing there at the back end of November, early December. And now we finish it off here in Oslo, as we do so many seasons. The World Cup finals will be here again next year. There's no one who objects because it's such a fabulous atmosphere, and if the weather's like this, no one's going to complain.
Well, after a winter of a lot of cold, cloudy conditions, they'll be grateful for a little bit of vitamin D to boost that much-needed immune system, especially in times such as these. And in my top 20, Patrick, or in fact the 20 bib numbers, there's only 3 biathletes who I don't think with 20 shots could win, and that's Seppälä, Rees and Eder. I think even with 20 out of 20, they'd struggle to take the victory.
Yeah, I think Roman Rees might argue with that, but hitting 20 is the first task. It's not easy. There's Lygrid out front early on, so that's one of them ticked off your list. Christiansen I didn't have to lead. Jacquelin I expect will make a move.
I think Christiansen, he's quite tactical, and that's what I like about him, is he will play the field, he'll make sure that he is getting in behind somebody, not rushing it, and you can even see in his mannerisms now, he's always calm and relaxed and thinking about that last lap as opposed to getting an early start or the adrenaline of being up front.
Yeah.
Broken pole.
Is that Vaklavik? Now, starting at the back, that should be the last thing that happens, but he has got a broken pole. Michael Krishmarsh also racing for the Czech Republic, so we got 2 Czechs, 7 Norwegians in the field. We did have 6 Germans, we're down to 5 with the withdrawal of Benny Doll. We've got France have 5, all of them capable of winning. Is that true? Maybe not. Certainly 3 of them capable of winning. And the Italians with 3 today, which is a good effort. Luki Hopper wearing 15. We've got Formellini wearing 20. And then Giacomel is in bib number 29.
Vaklavik there, broken pole. You don't want it to be on an uphill, that's for sure. So he had to ascend the steepest part of that ascent with the broken pole. But one of the fastest biathletes, particularly during the junior phases, him and Sean Docherty were always jostling for the fastest skier back in the day when I was competing against them on the junior world champs and such.
So Filmaye leading, Lygrid just behind him, Christiansen is up there as well, Samuelsson keeping an eye on the Norwegians. Now Samuelsson has a lead of 5 points over Lygrid and 17 points over Christiansen. So he's got to beat them, essentially, assuming they're going to be up the front of the field. So that's Jacquelin making a move, going on the outside.
Yeah,
following his course of action is Fabien Claude.
That's what I love about Jacquelin. He makes it exciting. He isn't, I would say you could see Christiansen perhaps as slightly passive. He will not necessarily take action, which I personally like, but I also like the fact that Jacquelin is so aggressive. And those 2 very contrasting strategies, I'd say, makes for an interesting dynamic as they ski shoulder to shoulder up past the 1.4 kilometer check mark.
Each lap, remember, 3 kilometers, so we're nearly halfway around the first, but they've done way more than half the work because they're just about at the high point of the course at the moment. Talia Bo going okay in 7. We got Kern and Bakken and Claude and Seppälä. Seppälä disappointing yesterday. Hopefully he'll get the shooting right today. Is it going to take a 20 out of 20 to win? Well, we only saw 2 clear shoots in the women's. And slightly surprised to see Filmaye out front, although I think what he's trying to do is get in front and slow the pace down. He wants a slow first loop so he can produce something on the last loop.
And I wonder to what degree that's because he's actually a little bit tired. I think he's been exerting so much energy over the past couple of months, particularly at the Olympics, that his body isn't going to be responding in quite the same way that it was early season.
Yeah, and then at every opportunity, Christiansen and Lygrid trying to get ahead, just push the pace a little. They do not want to play to Fiolmayet's tune. They've made the mistake of doing that too many times this season, and the Frenchman has notched up 969 World Cup points. The chances are he's going over the 1,000 mark. 40 points for finishing in 5th. That will be plenty.
And looking back, in Eder is the most experienced with over 400 World Cup starts. And that's quite an astounding record. But he, again, like you said yesterday, Patrick, has no intention of drawing it all to a close.
Yeah, Alfred Eder, his dad, probably saying, stay on the circuit. You still owe me a lot for all the training I gave you early on.
It's very tactical up front here. Fiolmayet not necessarily wanting to take this. Johannes Kuhn there. He's always got the capacity to win. He just struggles to hit the targets, and it can be going so well all of a sudden for him to miss 3. But the German ski technicians have been nailing it now for the last couple of days. So, assuming fast skis, good shooting, we could see a German again on top of the podium.
Well, it's always possible, and after this morning's race, anything is possible. So I just hope you've backed the right horse today as they come down into the range for the first time. Prone position for the shoot. Not too much wind to talk about when they were zeroing their weapons. There's a little flutter from left to right at the moment. And always worth that extra second or two just to take in the conditions. Lygrid does it as he hooks into the armband. Fiolmayet nearest the camera. Samuelson next door to him. Keep an eye out for the yellow flashes indicating a miss. Claude de France is the first. Kern has missed now. Todiabo has thrown one wide. And the World Cup leader, Fiolmayet, has thrown one wide. He's thrown another wide. It could be a disastrous start. He's got a lot of work to do now. 300 metres penalty. Samuelson is clear. Christensen is clear. Jacquelin has gone 5 with 5. Rees and Hoffer have all gone clear as well. The majority hitting all the targets. We'll give you an absolute update when it comes through. Certainly expecting to see 15 with the clear shoot first time round. It's going to be more than that. Benny Vega's gone clear as well. Sorry,
all
Scott.
of your 5 have gone clear, and of my 5, all but Ponsiloma have gone through the checkpoint. Ponsiloma now 25 seconds behind the lead, just going through that checkpoint, 19th position.
Yeah, I don't see how he's much help to Samuelson now. As we were discussing, how do you help someone when you race as a team? I don't think there's a lot you can do. Well,
it appears that actually if your team's too close, it can become more of a hindrance, as we saw with Lynn Parson, so close to Elvira Oberg. In fact, too close.
Oh, just high right. That was a little unfortunate for Fiolmayet. Where's the last one going to go? Is it high right again? Yes, it is.
Certainly makes it exciting, Patrick, to see that Quentin Fiolmayet is going to have his work cut out if he wants to get right up there. And actually, as it stands right now, and I know it's early days, but he could very well see himself lose a couple of positions in the Massenstart Crystal Globe should he not come back and regain some top 10 positions in this race.
Yeah, it's fairly tight in the Massenstart. Fiolmayet on 1:42. So a top 3 will put him out of reach of everyone else, but he's got a lot of work to do to achieve that, but don't put it past him. He's not the world #1 for no reason. Christensen is in second, 1:27. Doll isn't racing, so he's irrelevant. Bakken is 4th with 1:22, just 5 points down on Christensen. And Gigenar, I think, is over 30 points behind Fiolmayet. I cannot see that changing.
Christensen tucking in behind Anderson.
There goes Simon Eder, wearing 14. 4th in the World Championships, 7th in the Olympic Games. you know, when he's on fire and hitting the targets, he's a brilliant athlete. But as you say, he just hasn't got the speed. Actually, at the World Championships in Pachuca, if I'm right, he came out of the range in first spot. Certainly first or second, but he couldn't quite hang on to a podium finish and ended up down in fourth. But I think just about everyone in Pachuca was willing Ada through to win that one.
Yeah, and it's not always about the ski speed, but it's so important. There was an occasion where Erik Lesser in 2015 at the Ruhpolding World Cup during the Massenstart, he started so far behind everyone else, he didn't know he was racing. He came and hit 20 out of 20, ended up winning, just managing to keep Martin Fourcade at bay on the final lap.
Now, you know your dinosaur, Scott. Is that T-Rex?
That's what I'm going to go for. The viral sensation in every video you see those in.
Well, we've still got plenty of the Norwegians in the front 10, but the pressure is starting to be piled on by number 7, Simon Detieu, last ever race. Is he going to do what Hoffa did yesterday? I would think that Lesser's performance yesterday when he won, I would think Lesser's performance was a real inspiration for Simon Detieu.
Yeah, I think so too, and Simon Detieu is his last race as well, and I don't know if that's going to just relieve the nerves. I'm not too sure how that dynamic works, but it certainly had that effect for Erik Lesser yesterday.
Yeah, back and going through wearing 8. 16 is Philip Gjeld Andersen. There's Simon Ada just ahead of Roman Rees.
So Ponsiluoma taking 6 seconds back during that 1.4 kilometer ski to this point.
Yeah, Jacquelin has not had a good start. Phil Maillet, incidentally, was 28 seconds down after that first shoot. And there he is wearing yellow. Has he managed to close it at all? No, he's a long, long way off the mark. Phil Maillet at 50.5. I'm finding that absolutely extraordinary. Oh, he was 46, not 26. I just can't read. That would have been very unusual.
And Christensen, as it stands right now, again, if the race was to suddenly come to an end, the Crystal Globe would be Christensen. So it does go to show how much, even Bakken, he is currently points-wise ahead of Quentin Fillon-Maillet as it stands.
Correct. Bakken with a decent race so far, came out of the range in 3rd place, just juggling for position. He's in about 6th or 7th at the moment. Actually, he's there in 7th, just ahead of Andersen. So what have we got? 4 Norwegians, 5 Norwegians in the top 10. Norath is there for Germany. Hoffa's doing okay, just 10 seconds off the pace, and Lukas Hoffa, one of those to go clear. We had 17 clear shots. Ponsiluoma is absolutely busting a gut to get back into contention, having
so
missed
fast
on that first shoot. Yeah, he's made contact with the back of the lead group.
It begs the question, Patrick, has he opted to go too fast? Is there any need at this point in the race to expend all of that energy when you could rely on having it at the end?
Maybe he's just trying to get up there and give his teammate a hand. We will see. Keep an eye on his target just to see what price he pays for skiing so hard on this second loop. And the crowd rise once again. They have had a fantastic week. They've seen plenty of Norwegian victories, but they were delighted, absolutely delighted to see Erik Lesser win yesterday. And the French contingent of the crowd couldn't quite believe their eyes when Justine Brézard-Boucher, the Olympic champion, came through not just to win the Massenstart, but to pip the Crystal Globe as well. Ziggy Mazet, what a job he's done. A little bit of controversy leaving the French system. Not best of mates with Martin Fourcade for a while, but I think everyone respecting what he's done now. So here we go, shoot 2, last shoot in the prone position. First 2 are down for Lygrid. Samuelsson working left to right, gets 3 out of 3. Detour is clear as well. Jacquelin is clear. Very few mistakes amongst the leaders, but Sapala has thrown one wide, and suddenly Detour throws one wide. Christiansen is clear. Simoneda, 5 out of 5 and fast. He's going into the top 10, along with Zobel and Rees. Mistakes from Ponsaloma again. Lucas Hoffer misses in the prone. That's his chance of getting out front gone. And Anderson is there with 2 misses. Now, Phil Moyet on the range. Keep an eye on his target. This is important. If we leave before he finishes, we'll let you know how he gets on. He's gone and thrown another one wide. Another one wide, and that 4th crystal globe is disappearing over the horizon.
And Anton Giganat, he goes clear. Now, Patrick, I can't imagine it's going to happen, but it isn't inconceivable that even Anton Giganat could overtake Quentin Fillon-Maillet on the current Massenstart standings.
Lygrid is not in contention with only 99 points. He's 43 points behind the Massenstart leader at the moment. Well, 24 hours ago, Lygrid was in the same position, and he lost it. He missed 2 on his last shoot. He missed 1 on, I think he missed 1 on the 3rd shoot as well. So it wasn't the best standing shooting we've seen from Lygrid, but Samuelsson is hanging on in there, wearing number 2. Christiansen, where was Christiansen last time we saw him? He was only 6 seconds down off the lead. He's in that little group, so it is desperately, desperately tight. Christiansen has to beat, I think I'm right in saying Christiansen has to beat Bakken and be, at the moment, at least 5 places ahead of Fillon-Maillet. That job is being done, but for the overall, Samuelsson is in a fight with Lygrid and Christiansen, but Lygrid is his nearest challenger, and there is Lygrid out front.
You know, it's quite amazing that I didn't think we could top the female race this morning, but Samuelsson, Lygrid, Christiansen, Jacquelin, they're all in a battle in the total World Cup score, and there they all are, all 4 of them in the top 6 right now, with Quentin Fillon-Maillet. Obviously, he's run away with the total score, but wow, I can't believe that those 4 are so close right now in this race.
Yeah, Jacquelin is in the mix as well. It'd be nice for him to have a good finish to the season. He's shown sparks of brilliance this year, but has looked a little bit tired over the last couple of weeks, certainly when you compare him to his teammate Fillon-Maillet. So Lygrid, just super smooth as he comes up over the rise and starts to think about descending down towards the stadium again. Closing the gap is Jacquelin. Seb Samuelsson looks as though he's on the end of a long elastic string that's about to snap, Scott. He is absolutely dying to try and close the gap on Lygrid. It's not happening.
Something tells me that Samuelsson is struggling. He's lost 4 seconds so far up to this point in the high point of the track. And yeah, not a good implications. Jacquelin, on the other hand, he seems to be in a comfortable position right now, closed the gap and is settling in behind Lygrid.
Yeah, Jacquelin, 5th in the World Cup standings, having been 2nd for so long. That's an indication of how things have gone over the last couple of weeks. What was he? 32nd and 8th in Ottopa last week, 30th and 19th in the 2 races here. And he's just been in free fall in terms of his World Cup position. But if he finishes the season off with a win, all that will be forgotten.
Jacquelin taking another glance over his shoulder, just trying to gather some information. At this point, I wouldn't say I'd put that down to nerves. He just wants to see who's around him. Now, the question I'm asking is he looking around too much? What does he need that information for, and is it just going to distract him in the shooting range?
Yeah, there's not, you know, he's not really in the running for the Massenstart standings. He's certainly not going to get back up into the top 3 in the overall World Cup. So I think I'm with you, Scott. I think just focus on the job in hand.
Seppala, he left the range at the same time, but he's very clearly struggling right now to hold that pace. Only 0.7 seconds behind as he left the range. Now, a full 30.
Benny Vega's having a good race. Eric Lesser is still there, 33 seconds down. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that he could win his last 2 races in his career. I think the script writers are hoping for a few of the leaders to miss on this next shoot. And, well, if all 3 of them miss, then we have a fantastic situation.
And I think Quentin Fillon-Maillet is having the same thoughts, because as it stands right now, 23rd position, 3 misses, 1 minute 8 seconds back, and he's losing his Massenstart Crystal Globe. There's no doubt about it, unless he hits the next 10 targets.
Yeah, he might have to do more than that. 23rd, as you say, he's a minute and 8 off the pace. And, yeah, even if he gains a minute on the leaders, he's still going to be down in 7th and 8th position. And if Lygrid can win this one, or Christiansen can get in the top 1 or 2, then I think Fillon-Maillet's chances have gone.
Look at Samuelsson's head moving side to side. Again, some people say, well, that's a little bit shaky. That should be more central. However, I think he's got a fantastic use of his upper body weight, managing to really drive through the poles, which helps him on these ascents.
Yeah, keep an eye on his left leg as well. I think he's got a very powerful left leg action when you compare it to many. And that may be... may result in the fact that the head looks as though it's shooting across over to the right-hand side. But good use of the legs. There's Benny Vega. I wonder how he's enjoying his last time out on the World Cup tracks. It's an emotional time for most of these athletes. Thousands and thousands of hours of training. And suddenly it all comes to an end. Again, the fans leave their seats. Standing ovation for the 3 leaders as they come down into the Holmenkollen Stadium. There'll be silence for a bit, but as soon as the rounds start going down, we will hear the cheers or the groans. Norway, France and Sweden. Third shoot, but the first in the standing position.
Expect fast shooting from Jacquelin. Samuelsson, he'll take 2 breaths between each shot. He's a little bit more controlled.
Lygrid, 84% hit rate. Jacquelin, 78. And Samuelsson, 81.
Wow, 2 misses.
This is Samuelsson's chance. This is Samuelsson's chance. Jacquelin throws 2 wide. If he can get this, and he's taking his time, Samuelsson's going in front, and that brings a cheer from the Swedish contingent of the crowd. Anderson misses. Bakken could be back up in the front. That's a really good recovery from Bakken. He's going into the top 3, and so is Christiansen. Oh my goodness. The race for 2nd place goes on. The race for the Massenstart trophy goes on. Norath misses number 5. Zobel Detieu, he keeps his chances alive of winning, and Eric Lesser has gone clear again. He was absolutely hot with a rifle yesterday. Out comes, that's Zobel. Where's Lesser? There he is. He's about 30-40 meters behind. Number 7, Simon Detieu.
Patrick, so often we talk about the script writers, but I feel as though we may have written this script. It's unbelievable how the most... Well, I mean, they are the best of the mass starts, but they're all at the front contending still, except for Quentin Fillon-Maillet, who is in the shooting range as we speak, and he has just gone clear, 5 for 5.
So Fillon-Maillet could be going into the top 10, and once he's in the top 10, he'll get his eye on the top 5. So Lygrid not happy. 1 miss pushes him back down into 4th, having led the way around that last loop, and Samuelsson with an 8-second lead. Now, I often say, in the mass start, you do not want to lead into the final shoot.
Christiansen taking a tumble as he tried to get up from the mat there. Not too much time lost, but a bit of adrenaline, a bit of distraction. He's back on his feet and on the hunt.
Well, let's say he lost 5 seconds. Don't tell me he's going to lose out by 5 seconds when it comes to 2nd place in the overall or the Massenstart trophy. Fiormaillet, incidentally, is still at 108. He's down in 15th position. Another 10 seconds gained, and he can go up into 14th. So he's still got an awful lot of work to do. He will not be catching Seb Samuelsson, who is desperate. It does show, Scott, when you really want something, you can get it.
He seems to pick it out at the most appropriate times. I remember his first individual Olympic medal, Pyeongchang, and he came in second place in the pursuit. Sprint finish against Benedict Dahl, absolutely smashed it over one of the final hills, and this man knows how to fight, that is for sure. What a fantastic effort, and this is a steep hill he's powering his way up right now.
Yeah, he just got a little glimpse of the shots that Samuelsson produced on that last shoot. Excellent, very safe standing shooting. Nervous moments for the Swedish members of the crowd, unless that's someone else wearing the Ukrainian colours. Incidentally, Ukrainian colours seen all over the biathlon stadiums over the last 3 weeks. Just one shoot to go for the 21-22 Biathlon World Cup season, and it's a fatigued-looking Seb Samuelsson who has the lead at the moment. Number 8 is Sivert Gutten-Bakken, a newcomer to the Norwegian team, just 23 years old, bases himself at Lillehammer, where many of the Norwegians' top athletes live and train. Beautiful conditions. They have a long season there, Scott.
They certainly do, and fantastic tracks that you can ski literally from Lillehammer all the way to Sweden. It's quite exceptional, the vast span on the Norwegian fjells. And today, right now, he could walk away with the Crystal Globe, and that would certainly be a plot twist I was not expecting. For the Massenstart, I should say.
Yeah, Bakken with 122 points. I think we're going to have to save the maths until afterwards because it is so complex at the moment. Samuelsson, which are we going to see in the Olympics? He missed 3 on the last shoot, having been in a fantastic position for medals. Dropped all the way down to 11. But last weekend in Otepää, with good conditions, he hit 5 out of 5 in the last stand and came home in 9th. He wasn't really skiing that well. And the similarity between Otepää and here, Oslo, is that you get quite a good recovery before that final shoot.
What I love about Samuelsson's stand shooting is that he takes 2 breaths between each shot. He's quite, I wouldn't say slow, because he certainly is not, but he's a controlled stand shooter, and it's not one breath, it's not rapid fire.
Lygrid at 12.1, so Samuelsson has got to hit 5 to give himself a chance of going into second in the overall, or staying in second in the overall. Christiansen down in 7th at the moment. He's the man in charge at the moment in terms of the Massenstart Crystal Globe. So a 5 out of 5 from him, and he may be taking home a bit of cut class. Fiormaillet, last news on him. He is still waiting for him to go through the 10.4. Just checking, I haven't missed him. No, he was in 15th last time. I think he's still down in 15th place, and he is.
Losing time.
Is he out of it? Well, not if all these leaders miss 1 or 2.
Well, he's lost 3 seconds to Sebastian Samuelsson, who is currently up front. So he's not skiing as fast as the leaders, and it doesn't look like he's shooting as accurately either. I'd say there's nothing he can do to win this race, nothing at all, but he's just damaged limitation at this point. He's got the Crystal Globe for the total, but he's still got it to defend it for the Massenstart.
Yeah, but when you've got 3 Crystal Globes in your baggage already, you're not quite as hungry for the 4th as, say, Christiansen or Bakken might be for the 1st.
I would say that's for sure, especially when you've also got your bag weighed down by Olympic gold medals and silver medals, 2 and 3 apiece.
Yeah, 5 medals from the Olympics for Fiormaillet. It's been the most outstanding season, and he's not going to play a part with the finish here in the final race of the year, but it doesn't matter. It's no lesser affair because of that. We've got Samuelsson, who's been great for the Swedes, the partner of Hanna Öberg. Number 3 is Lygrid. Number 8, is Bakken, and Ligrid is going for number 2. He has to beat Samuelsson. So this final shoot has so much on it, and the more there is on it, the more the pressure, the more likely you are to miss. Who knows what's going to happen here? Samuelsson will be trying to slow the pulse and calm the nerves as he approaches the range.
If Ligrid comes first and Sebastian Samuelsson second, it doesn't matter. Samuelsson will, oh no, my mistake actually. Ligrid can actually take this from Samuelsson if he wins and Samuelsson comes second. But there's a 5 point separating them currently.
Yeah, if they finish second and third with Ligrid in front, then Samuelsson gets it. So it's all about finishing first and second. 6 points between first and second. That's what this season is coming down to. Samuelsson of Sweden on lane 1, Ligrid 2, and Bakken, who is still in contention for the Massenstart trophy.
Aggressive shooting from Ligrid.
There's the miss, but Samuelsson distracted. He misses as well, and he misses again. This is Bakken's opportunity. He's frozen on the range, and Lesser could be the man who comes through if Bakken misses. The two leaders are out, but they have penalties. Bakken, the slowest shoot we've seen from him for a long time, clear. But he makes it 5, and Lesser needs 2 in quick succession. Down goes 1. Jacquelin is out. Lesser is out. We have a ski race for the win here, and that switches the positions for the Massenstart standings, because Ligrid actually is out now, having paid 1 penalty. Advantage Ligrid. Lesser celebrates again. 8th position. He's up in the podium slots. He's got another ski race to do, having exhausted himself yesterday, and I think that will be a factor when he's up against Jacquelin over the last 3K.
Bakken currently fighting now, literally, for the Crystal Globe. If Fillon-Maillet hits all these targets, he could defend it, and he does. This is going to be extremely tight for the Massenstart Crystal Globe.
So we've got Bakken, who has come out in first place, 30-51, 60 points going to him. Fillon-Maillet was down in 14th before the shoot. He's out in 9th. He has come out in 9th position. What's that? 32 points, I think it is. 32 points at the moment for Fillon-Maillet, which takes him on to 174, and if Bakken wins this, he goes on to 182. Advantage Bakken.
Fillon-Maillet, he's got a lot of work to do to close up just 2 gaps. It's going to be one heck of a fight, and he's actually, Fillon-Maillet must be relying on Ligrid and Lesser both to get in front of Bakken if he stands a chance of retaining that Crystal Globe.
Yeah, he's got to drop down a third. Lesser and Jacquelin. Jacquelin could do his teammate a favour here by catching Bakken on this last loop. Ligrid is going through, so that drops 6 points off the tally for Bakken, and now only 1 or 2 points between the 2 top players in the Massenstart. Good news for Ligrid, that will put him up into second in the overall, and Seb Samuelsson's dream is disappearing with those 2 misses on the range. He's dropped all the way down to 10th and is 54 seconds. The pressure just too great for Samuelsson, and I think he put that pressure on himself.
He absolutely did, and Patrick, this moment precisely calls back to your question earlier. If Ligrid beats Bakken, then that could actually prevent him from getting the Crystal Globe. So the question is, Ligrid is now safe at beating Samuelsson in the total World Cup Crystal Globe score. So the question becomes, will Ligrid let Bakken beat him for the sake of winning the Massenstart Crystal Globe?
Well, having seen Persson of Sweden just pip Elvira Öberg in the Massenstart this morning,
it could happen again.
Yeah, it could well happen again. Ligrid leading at the moment. That's actually good news for Bakken, because Ligrid will set a good pace, and if Bakken can just get in behind him and feed off him, that could hold off Lesser's charge. 1 more long climb to go. Bakken a little unsteady around that soft left-hand turn. Have to be careful there, but he's okay. He lives on as they descend. It's a rapid left-hand turn now. Over the bridge, then under the road. road, and then they have another tight right-hander. That has certainly proved the downfall of many a skier in the past, but hopefully not today. Lygrid still leading, Bakken in 2, Lesser losing a little bit of ground on the downhill, but maybe that's just the fact that they're travelling so fast that the distance looks bigger.
Jacquelin playing a smart game there from Emilien Jacquelin, staying it behind Eric Lesser, who we know has been skiing fast. I think now, Patrick, I may stand to be proven wrong, having said that I don't think that somebody would concede a spot when there's complex maths to be done, but I think that Lygrid is helping Bakken right now, and I propose that towards the end of this race, Bakken will be allowed to go past and take the victory. That's my speculation.
Yes, but Lygrid does not know where Samuelsson is. He will not know that he is secure in second place in the World Cup. So those 6 points in his head may be just as important to him as they are to Bakken.
And the question
now starts to close.
Will that information be passed on to Lygrid on this lap? It's complicated. It might not be the case.
Well, I think Bakken would want to win it outright. I don't think he'll be too fast. Here comes Christiansen. Christiansen started with 1:27 this morning. He was only 5 points clear of Bakken, so he can't catch him unless he gains 3 places in the closing stages.
He's exhausted.
There are your 2 leaders. Bakken still looks pretty good to me, actually.
Jacquelin, I think he's going to be hungry for revenge to some extent. But as we see Quentin Fillon-Maillet charging up the hill, he's managed to secure 1 additional place. Samuelsson, on the other hand, going the opposite way, having lost 2 places.
Yeah. So what was that? Fillon-Maillet up into 8th. So he now gets 34 points, which takes him on to 176. 176, and remember, if Bakken wins this one, he goes on to 182, and if Bakken finishes second, he will finish on 176 as well. So Fillon-Maillet needs to gain a place. Bakken has to win this, I think, to claim the Crystal Globe.
Oh, the stakes are incredible. I don't think you could not write it. It's quite exceptional, but this is Bakken's moment. Lygrid is responding. He's saying, no, not happening, not today, not right now. He is giving it everything as well.
Yeah, and Lygrid's on the inside of the next turn, so that could be absolutely key. But Bakken, I think, would be well to save some energy for that final little climb up around the back of the stadium. The shooting is all over for the season, but we're finishing with one of the best ski races that we've seen all season. Lesser still leading Jacquelin.
Emilien Jacquelin, I'm pretty sure, is going to be able to trump Eric Lesser when it comes to a sprint finish. He's young, dynamic, and he's in good shape. What a fantastic final race from him.
Yeah, we've seen at many major championships Jacquelin showing his sprinting prowess. He stunned us all with his performances in Antolz in the World Championships there, and he is a very, very good tactician indeed, but he's got a tough task on his hands. Is that Fillon-Maillet moving up into 7? It is.
Zobel needs to hold him off.
Yeah, but he's then got a little bit of a margin up to the front, so I don't think he's going to get any higher than 7th. There's a big gap between 6 and 7, so Bakken has to win this one. Bakken for Norway, wearing bib number 8, up against his teammate Lygrid. Well, here goes Bakken. He puts in another sprint, desperate for that Crystal Globe.
Will this be a repeat of teammates taking the Crystal Globe off teammates? You could not write it. Fantastic sprint finish from Emilien Jacquelin, charging past Eric Lesser on that final hill. Not going to be able to touch silver and gold.
So denying Eric Lesser a podium finish on his last race, but he won his penultimate race to make it 3 wins in his career. It's always an advantage to be second on a downhill like this, and Bakken knows that. Here goes Lygrid, he's in the slipstream, and it's Lygrid who's moving faster. Bakken has to stand tall. Lygrid gets that extra half a second of rest, and here he comes. Is this the sprint that's going to deny Bakken the Crystal Globe? I don't think it is. I think Bakken's going to hold on.
He's got it.
He's got it. And Lygren, I think you're absolutely right. Lygren eased up with about 20 to go. So the crystal globe for the mass start goes to Bakken. Lygren goes up to 2 in the World Cup standings. It's all gone Norway's way in Norway. Once again, they excel in the Holmenkollen Stadium. And that is finally it for Lesser. Has anyone had such a brilliant ending to their career? Maybe Martin Fourcade, who won his last ever race up in Kontiolahti. But Eric Lesser, outstanding, if only because we were not expecting what we've seen from him over the last 2 weeks.
Philip Narath, also an exceptional race from him today. Great form, great shooting, and a well-deserving 5th place today with 1 mistake in total.
And Phil Maillet down in 7th. Too many misses early on. 3 misses in all for Phil Maillet. He lost a massive time. He was over 1 minute and 8 seconds behind at the halfway stage. Simoneda across the line, top 10. Not bad for a 39-year-old. Certainly he has every justification for continuing his career. Samuelsson and Ponsaloma, 11 and 12. Samuelsson will be bitterly disappointed. He so wanted to beat the Norwegians today. And he did everything right except the last shoot.
Disappointing result and very unexpected from Sebastian Samuelsson. Ponsaloma also missing 4, my mistake, skiing exceptionally fast.
Yeah, 4 loops, incidentally, an extra 600 meters. It's makes life pretty tough. Number 21 just pumping his chest is Vytautas Strolia on the best form we've ever seen from him. And he on his own flying the Lithuanian flag. Eric is off. Danke Eric from the women's team, and of course Benny Vega is calling it a day. So many top athletes retiring this year. It will only go and make biathlon more exciting next year as we see what the youngsters can do up against the old sweats. Gigener and Vega in a fight for 21 and 22. Vega missing 4, so he hasn't finished with a perfect score. Only 2 athletes shooting clear. Bakken was one of them, and as such, he deserves that. He deserves that win in the Massenstart standings.
And impressive that he managed to do it when the pressure was at its greatest. So fantastic performance from Bakken.
Well, it's been a long and distinguished career for Benny Vega. 33 now from Göttingen. What's he had? 5 podiums in his career, but he's really been the mainstay of the Swiss team for a decade. Leitner, I thought we might see more from him.
Yeah, his season this year has not managed to live up to his previous expectations. Oh, here we go. Enjoying this moment, end of the season, embracing the crowd.
Thomas Bormolini, not too fussed about the odd place. And he surrenders 25th to his teammate Lukas Hofer. Didn't really see Hofer, too much going on at the front. He missed 3 early. Bormolini missing 4, Giacomel missing 6. The Italians 25, 26 and 27 in today's race. But the win going to Bakken of Norway. That's an outstanding performance. His first ever World Cup win, and that's 9 different winners from the last 9 mass starts. How about that?
And he did it when the pressure was at its greatest. On the other hand, Talia Bö, I think the fatigue finally finishing off his season, both physical and mental, and a well-deserved break to come for him, I am sure.
Yeah, Bakken's at the end to his season has been amazing. You know, he hasn't had too much of the press coverage. We haven't seen him so much, but a 4th and 7th in Kontiolahti. He got a 13th and a 3rd in the mass start in Otterpa, and then a 16th, a 7th and a 1st here in Oslo. He has absolutely rushed up the World Cup standings list, and I think he might just go ahead of Benny Doll. It's going to be close. I think he might be a couple of points short of the German, but he's in the top 10 of the overall standings. But he is the mass start champion for this year. Talia Bö couldn't hit anything today. I think just enjoying a day out. 7 misses in all.